Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite is podcast, favorite is channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, make sure to follow all of us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at BD Williams 18 for BD, and then M Holder 95 for Matt. All right, so another 17 points blown lead for the Raiders. I really don't know how to explain this. I really don't know how to explain it anymore. It's just, it was just awful, just awful. And I could kind of feel it. I felt it a little bit. Derek Carr missed that last throw to Amir Abdullah, and it just was like, oh, there's the sign. And then they went right down the field and got a field goal, and then they got right down the field and went 17, and then it was bad all around. I don't know.
What's funny is I was going to say similar to the Chiefs game. I think I said the same thing. It's when they're up 17-0. I'm like, man, there's too much time on the clock again. I think it was 10 minutes in the second quarter. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. And then, they don't score another touchdown for the rest of the game at that point. They didn't score a touchdown outside of the beginning of the second quarter, right? If I remember correctly.
No, outside the second quarter, no, they did not. No, they didn't do anything in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching this. It's in the second half, 17 up, and I was thinking to myself, I would rather they had just got blown out than lose at this point. That's what I was thinking to myself. So
yeah, but I felt it. It's hilarious. It's the defense, when they get down, man, and teams got to pass, it really just exposes the secondary. And then they give up the lead, and then they get to the old school football. Teams want to run the ball, run the clock out, and then they can stop people. But it's if the Raiders just kept it 21-20 the whole game, they just kept it 14-13. Maybe get more chances to. I don't know.
This team does not understand how to play complementary football between phases. Between offense, between defense. I completely agree. And there was a lot of extremely discouraging things in this one. Last 3 weeks, Jags, I talked about it in the preview show, they really struggled to convert 3rd and 1s, and they were solid today. It was definitely their best week doing that, at least the last 4 weeks of NFL schedule. So the fact that they go in there and play their best situational football against the Raiders, I think that just signals how poorly structured this unit is, and obviously they're getting close to historically bad, right, at this point, this defense.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say Jags 9 of 15 on third down. Don't know, 3rd and 1. I mean, maybe they I feel like they were probably 3 and 4. So yeah, and conversely, the Raiders were 3 of 12 on third down.
Exactly. They suck on third down, and that's their biggest problem. So when they get in those 3rd and 10s, I mean, they got to run the same dagger concept. They do the same dagger. I think they ran dagger 3 times the end of the game. Just saying, here we go, dagger
same
again.
Thing.
At 3rd down, here comes dagger, 3rd and 10. So and then Carr probably played his worst half I've ever seen him play. I think that was bad. So I don't know, he just was missing open. I don't know if they're
what's going on, because how is it possible? Almost every single game, we've just seen in a really promising quarter, maybe a half, and then just a goose egg in another half. Is that almost every single week?
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on with this? How can they look great and then terrible in the same game?
I feel like we talked about it. It starts at the top. You listen to McDaniels, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. McDaniels is you hear him talk about the team as a whole in the press conference and the season as a whole, and he sits there and he's yeah, we're excited about the direction of this team, even though we're 2-5. I'm like, brother, you're 2-5. Now you're 2-6. Just lost to the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars. This team has no fire. They don't have a constant sense of urgency. They have it for short spurts when they're down and they realize, oh crap, oh shit, we're down whatever it was to the Chiefs or whatever. Now we got to come back and now we got to make it happen. But yeah, they get up these 17-point leads. They've blown 3. Is that right? 3 17-point leads this year already.
That's got to be a record, right? That's got to be a record, right?
They don't have that killer instinct, and it's because their coach doesn't have it. It doesn't seem like.
So Chiefs went down and scored against the Raiders with like how many seconds left? They got into field goal position, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right before second half, and then that happens again today. I went as soon as that happened.
I was like,
I'm like, yeah, this is going in the wrong direction here. I mean, there's a lot to say. I think honestly, as far as like defensive issues are concerned, they just really they're not. This team is not talented enough in the middle of the field to get away with what they're trying to do here. So it's putting too much stress on their interior guys, and these guys they're rotating. Their jobs are changing every week. I think it's just too much to ask right now for them. So.
Yeah, I would want to say, man. I mean, at this point, I mean, can we get? I'd rather have the old McDaniels where he's cussing at these guys and yelling at them on the sideline. I can see it in his eyes that he just wants to burst out with anger and be himself. And I feel like at this point, man, you might as well just let it go, bro. These guys are terrible. Just let it go. Start yelling. I haven't seen outbursts from him. Start cussing at these guys. You haven't been cussing. I heard he hasn't been cussing at them, and Josh McDaniels isn't cussing. So I thought that was interesting. That approach, maybe the approach that he's taken isn't working with this team. I mean, this team had a fiery coach that would cuss at everybody, who's yelling at everybody, who's telling everybody if you threw a bad throw that you suck. What are you doing? What are he's yelling at people. He's making bets with you. I can make a better throw than that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? The team maybe he's being too lighthearted because I can see it in his face. He's just ready to rip Carr a new one for missing some of the schemes that he's been throwing up. His face is red. Like, let it out, man. Sometimes maybe you should just rip these guys, and maybe you're being too reserved, and you're not being yourself, and it's not working. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
There is something to be said about there is even though it is professional sports and it is different, but there is something to be said about just MFing a guy, just getting in his face and just lighting a fire under his ass and seeing how he responds. And I mean, if you've been trying the koi technique this far with the team, like you said, maybe it's time to start dropping the hammer on some guys and not accepting it anymore. Again, I know it's different in pro football, but sometimes you maybe need to go back to that freshman high school coach mentality, grabbing some face masks, no water breaks all deal, 2-a-days until everyone pukes.
Yeah, there's that one clip with the Broncos. He's always spitting, and he's spitting and cussing at them on the sideline. I guess the Eagles or something. I don't know, man. They might need that, bro, at this point. I mean, it's too late now. They need that 0-3. Yeah,
that's the problem. Is it is too late now. If they light a fire now, like you were talking about before, then we run into the 8-8 or 8-9 territory, the 7-win territory where we're just in purgatory.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. It's just to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you blow 3 17-point leads. I'm sorry. I don't know what else is really to talk about. It's just awful all around to blow 3 17-point leads. That just doesn't happen. Maybe one. Yeah, right. One. Yeah, that's okay. Fine. 1 17-point lead. 3 though. 3 times you're up.
One is bad. One is bad.
I mean, one is bad. I'm just saying.
One is bad. Though? So when you do
3 season is bad.
Yeah.
3 in a season's bad. 3 in 8 games.
3 in 8 games.
We still have more chances to blow 17-point leads at this point.
Yeah, man.
I think at this rate, there's no way Patrick Graham makes it through the season.
No way. There's no way, right?
Mm-mm. There's no way at this rate. He's got to get fired. Right?
Which is a shame because I do think he is a good coach, but they don't have dogs. But like you were talking about, BD, he as versatile as we heralded him for in the offseason and everything, and how much he talked about it, like you're talking about. He's not mixing it up enough and adjusting to a scheme enough to fit his guys. But it does suck because I do look at this roster and I look at their TVs and their corners. I'm like, this is what they're rolling out. It's going to be hard to keep an NFL offense stat bay for 60 minutes.
I know, on Twitter, we see a lot of the scheme guys. They love scheme. You see some of the coaches things, and they love these schemes or whatever. You see a lot of those high school, college teams run them. But in the NFL, it's a talent league. You see the Eagles. I mean, last year with Derek Carr was 31-34 against them. I mean, everybody was just picking them apart, and they picked up a couple guys. What a scheme! Look at it, and it's the Paul Gunther scheme. So it's all about the players you have, and it's all about talent in the NFL. It doesn't matter what. You could be biggest genius in the world. You can come up with this scheme, you can come up with this, but if the other player is just faster than your player or is more talented, it don't matter. So.
And with the Eagles too, they've never ever stopped adding another pass rush. Like never gotten satisfied. Like look, they just traded for Robert Quinn, and he's not even starting for them. But they will not stop investing in their pass rush. And like I said, secondary. I mean, name a linebacker on the Eagles.
I mean, that's why they're going to lose in the divisional round. But anyways,
you know what I mean? Like, that's how you build a defense in this league.
That's just if you want to talk NFL, but that
Anyways. But sure, like you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm talking about. How to build a defense in a salary cap league.
Yeah, but to the Seahawks, just punch you in the mouth. See how good those linebackers are. All right.
We'll
any other thoughts on this game? I don't know. I don't know. It's got the comments probably just going crazy.
It's Kaiser White is having his best year of his career
with the Eagles.
With the Eagles linebacker.
Yeah, nice. Well, stop the pass, man. Because what the Eagles do, they get up on you and they can stop the passes. The Raiders are totally different. The Raiders are built to be in a tie game the whole time.
They are confused about what they're built to be in. They're certainly not built to defend the lead. Oh my goodness. Come on.
You think it's the construction of this team, and you're thinking maybe like they can coach these guys up and, but obviously they need more time. And this ain't a college team. You can't coach everybody up. You just got to get talent. So who knows? Is it saying, do they just keep Patrick Graham and be like, ready to give you talent next year? Or I don't know what their plan is, man. They're acting like this is a gimme year anyways. Like I always felt that way a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they probably if you're McDaniels, you might have to just to make him as the scapegoat a little bit. Because this is pretty bad. Like at this point, you got to get you can't. If the Raiders keep this up and they say flame out it with 4 or 5 wins, I mean, who knows if they even get to that moment? You can't keep the same staff. You got to make some changes. You as a respectable NFL head coach, you cannot sit there and be like, yeah, we're gonna roll with the same thing and expect something different. Some changes got to be made.
This feels like Carson Palmer's last year with the Bengals. They bring in they brought in Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco.
That's all right. I remember that.
That's what this feels. That's what this year feels like. They had mad hype. I was hyped about that year too. I'm like, man, the Bengals go to the Super Bowl.
You saying Derek Carr is going to retire at the end of the year if he doesn't get traded?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he gets to go play for the Cardinals over here. Kyle Murray gets traded or something. It's just history repeats itself, man. So, but to be honest, that's exactly what this feels like. This really, that's just a reference in my brain right now. Is that me being a young kid, man, they got T.O. and Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, guys? I don't know
what happened with Devontae Adams in the second half? Are they just hanging a safety and playing trail?
No, Derek Carr just missed them all the time. Really, to be honest,
they were off target balls, pass ball target.
I don't know what was happening. I mean, I gotta watch it on tape. I don't know if they're supposed to stop or I don't know. But this is saying Derek Carr's yelling at Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins didn't run it in. It's week 9, guys.
The second to last sequence. Where Derek Carr throws the ball out of bounds twice in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And then the commentators are saying maybe he's throwing it away because he just doesn't like what they're doing. It feels like they're extremely out of sync in that situation. They have these guys are completely running the wrong routes or something.
So I will say this: they are the slowest tempo team I've seen in a minute, and it all comes back to how the defense is too, because the defense, since they really can't stop anybody with every single possession, when you have these slow, methodical possessions, right, and you're still doing that every single drive, and then you end up getting 1 first down or maybe 2, and then you punt, you're not having the ball that long, so you're not getting the ball that much, and they're really hurting.
Not many touches.
Yeah. That's an adjustment they're making too. If your defense is bad, you got to play up tempo, because you're not going to get as many possessions. Especially the way Patrick Graham wants to play defense, and they can't play in the red zone. So Patrick Graham is giving everything up, and teams are just slowly scoring on them. And it's just a slow bleed. And then the Raiders come up, and they are Derek Carr's calling the mic. They're waiting till the 1 second's coming out, and then You know, they're not playing at a fast tempo with how the defense is. So it's just a long, slow bleed comeback. Because they only had the ball one time in the third quarter, and then it was the fourth quarter already. It was their second possession, and they scored on 4 out of 6 of them. So you're like, okay, but you have to pick it up. You have to score a lot. So you can't be this methodical. You know, we're gonna call the audibles all the time. Sometimes, you know, it's not working right now. We're not. But it's too late. What am I talking about right now?
That's a good observation about about playing with tempo. You know, I think that's obviously like, okay, we need to control the clock here because the defense is so bad, right?
To me, if you know your defense is bad, I feel like you gotta keep the tempo until it's 42-7, and then you take the tempo down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's no reason to take the tempo down, especially if it's, you know, you're not good on third down. Why keep the tempo? Why try to? Is
no one else open?
I mean, they neutered Hunter Renfrow, and then Darren Waller's not playing. So that's the problem. The main problem, they neutered Hunter Renfrow, which I'm mad about that too. Yeah, and they played Alex Bars, who didn't, you know, got car hit against Texans, and he's played like utter disgusting crap ever since. I mean, the first half he's really good, and then, like, I don't know, it was.
What's for the people who are listening for the first time? What do you mean by they neutered Hunter Renfrow?
The shaking and stuff, man, that he used to do. He was running wild last year, and I could see it. You know, he was getting his Odell Beckham on, but I don't know, man. Now
but McDaniels came in and said, "Hey, the way that I drew this up, that's exactly how you need to run that." Okay. Thank you.
So was it Tom Brady telling Edelman to run routes like that? He's like, "Don't listen to Josh." Was that Tom Brady? Don't listen to Josh. Just shake him.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. Tom Brady really just kind of hit everybody except Bill Belichick. It was basically Belichick. Basically, Belichick and Brady used to have their little Tuesday meetings, and they used to just, I don't know. All right, man. I feel like I'm talking too much. Somebody else.
So, do you agree with that, Matt? Do you agree with that, Matt? McDaniels was just there. He was just a guy in the building.
I mean, it's hard to argue against right now. I mean, you talk about it like guys like Edelman and Wes Welker were similar receivers as Renfrow. You know, quite a few similarities in there. But they throve with Brady.
and Wes Welker was not mechanical like Hunter Renfrow is right now.
No.
Wes Welker was shaking his dudes, and that hot seat juke, man. You had no idea where he was going.
Yeah.
Same with Edelman. Like, I don't.
Where's Wes Welker coaching right now?
San Francisco, Miami.
Look at them.
Oh, Miami.
Yeah.
So he went to a West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was with the Niners, and then McDaniel brought him over.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said, "No, I'm not going with the Bill O'Briens and the Earhart Perkins guys. I'm going over to the West Coast." Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. And is there anything else to talk about besides
I feel like
too much the Raiders suck right now? Defense is trash. It's garbage. They suck. So you just got to keep on rotating guys in and see who has good film for next year. And I guess we're getting into the draft next week. What about that, huh, Matt? What do you think?
Jalen Carter?
I don't know.
I don't know. They're gonna, at this rate, they're going to be in the territory. Like, I don't know where they'll be, but I feel like they'll be top 5 now.
Top 7 at least, yeah.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson. The way this team's
he had 206. He had 206 this weekend.
Bro, if they stop talking about nothing bad, stop. You can make me upset. With the first round running back conversation, don't do that.
No. Top 5.
Don't will that. Top 5. Yeah, top 5. Right
at 9. Yeah, the ninth pick. Bijan Robinson. Yeah.
We're talking
important, bro. It's important.
Saquon Barkley status. Get the running back before the offensive line is solidified. So it takes 3 years to figure it out.
Right.
I mean, can they take a tackle? I mean, I guess you get a right tackle. There's no right tackles that are taking that high either. So I don't know, but who knows?
I mean, that's why I'd be a proponent for like just getting like the best player available and maybe getting a corner, maybe getting like Jalen Carter's there. I'd be down for Jalen Carter. He's a freak. They could use D tackle help. I mean, he's going to be, like, to me, he's a top 5 player and could slide if we see a little run on quarterbacks in the early on first few picks. So who knows? At this rate, they're going to be, like I said, top 3 in even quarterback territory. Even if CJ
quarterback's going to be the talk of the draft. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
You're going to be breaking down defense tackles. You've been, man, Jalen Carr is awesome. And they're going to be like, so who we drafted at quarterback? And that's people are going to be asking you. So get ready for that. But I'll have your back on that, bro. I'll have your back on that.
Right now, Raiders, before the afternoon games are over and all that stuff, tankathon.com. Raiders picking third overall.
Third overall. Shout out
Behind,
Tankathon.
Here's
Man,
the problem.
They were quick to update that.
They're on their stuff. Here's the problem, though. Behind Houston and Carolina, both teams that need QBs.
I mean, Will Levis is going to go 1 because he got the intangibles. You want to marry him. You want your daughter to marry him. He ran the West Coast offense with Sean McVay as a cannon. He's going to go 1. I'm telling you. I'm just watch. He's going to go to the Senior Bowl.
Will Levis?
He's going to go to the Senior Bowl, and he's going to just kill the meetings. All right, once they said that he has the intangibles, I was like, oh, God, there he goes.
You're saying that he's going to be one of those late risers?
No, he does.
In the process.
Mel Kiper has him like 3.
Yeah, he's like – some people have him QB2 right now. Yeah. But the problem with him –
But, yeah, I mean, Bryce Young is going to fall because he's 5'9", right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like – his problem more is that because he's like 6 feet and then he's like 185. Like at least like Kyler Murray was at least like 200 pounds.
He's the best quarterback.
Bryce Young's not 6 feet.
He's the best. He's the best pure QB. And if they draft a quarterback, that would be my guy because he runs this offense already. It'd be easy. Plug and play.
So tiny though.
Yeah, he's so tiny. That's not gonna work.
It makes it tough. Like I like Bryce Young after like maybe like pick 15. If the Raiders take a top 10 quarterback who's like the size of Doug Flutie, you know what I'm saying? Like it better hit. You know what I mean? But it's gonna go against a lot of precedent if it does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's all I'm saying. If it was later on in the first round, I'd be a little bit more comfortable with a small guy quarterback. Yeah. Even if he is a beast, you know. Yeah, I know you don't like the Ohio State quarterback because that's who I'm leaning towards. Stroud.
They just scare the hell out of me, man.
Ohio State QBs. You're scouting the helmet. You're scouting the helmet. I know.
He's playing better.
You know what? You're right. All right, here we go. Before we get out of here, we got a question here. Comment. Hear me out. Fire the stat from Champ Kelly. All right, Visagia, Phil Snow. Oh my gosh. I think. Hey, see, Daddy Ducks, you're terminally on this channel. Too much. Thank you for the $10, but go watch another YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
No, he basically was beating right
there. There's a million inside jokes from Tape Don't Lie. That's hilarious.
Man,
right, guys, that's it. I don't got anything else.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Subscribe, guys. We're always gonna have some cool stuff for you on the channel, so make sure you guys keep subscribing. Definitely another ugly loss. Definitely huge defeat. So ugly stuff. But right here, guys. Peace.
See ya.
Later.